Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
I was
I'm
like,
ordering
Adam, I'm saying
a
hi to
chocolate
you.
frosty right now.
What'd you say?
I said I'm ordering a chocolate frosty at the moment.
Oh, jealous. A chocolate frosty sounds so good. I'm definitely getting a very large dinner after this for sure. Hello, how are you? We literally I think we just talked for an hour before.
I'm
and
well,
then, and then we had a disaster.
No
with
big
my
news
AirPods
we've
on.
had on this chat ahead of time, so
Just the simple things to update each other about. Just the usual.
What's the allergy pollen count? Things like that.
Adam and I will be seeing each other in person less than a week. In less than a week. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be very fun. We will not be recording. Sorry, guys.
No.
We will be off. We will not be recording during that time. We are
You'll
on
still get your regular
holiday.
We're so stocked up on episodes. You're gonna get your.
Oh yeah, you guys don't even know.
You don't even know. By the time this comes out, when we say next week, girl,
I keep
it had been happened.
It had been happened. I'm at the place where we've recorded so many episodes to be in the up next or in the bank or whatever that when the episode comes out, I'm like, which one is this? When they come out, I'm like, yeah, wait. So what happens on this episode? I'll just be like, what were the bits? I don't remember them. So it's a totally
it's kind
new
of fun
experience.
Yeah, we're 3 weeks ahead. So it's fun to, when I have to go edit it, I'm like, oh, this is the one where we said this. This is funny.
Yeah, what was the last one? Where we were screaming about, or I guess just me. Adam just had a Adam just fell apart. And I was screaming about how they wouldn't let him go to Hogsmeade. I was like, they wouldn't let this child go down the street. And now they're like, you have to compete in this competition that is only for adults. But also, you can't go to, if he didn't have a signed permission form this year, he still couldn't go to Hogsmeade. He would be competing in the Triwizard Tournament, could not go to Hogsmeade though still, if Sirius Black hadn't signed that damn form for Dumbledore. Wild.
Also, I don't know. I feel like he still could have gone to Hogsmeade last year. Dumbledore could have just let him.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just that it was such a big deal, and now here we are, and this is happening. The comparison.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, that's the great description of this book. Here we are, and this is happening. That's every chapter. Here we are, and this is happening. And by this, I mean blast-ended SKREWTS are happening in every chapter of this book.
And by that, we mean the SKREWTS. We don't need them.
This book should have been called Harry Potter and the Blast-Ended SKREWTS, because they are in every chapter. The Goblet of Fire, one chapter. Them. She's in and out.
Yeah,
she does her little.
Hello.
She does her gig and she leaves.
You're right. The SKREWTS
it's not even
are
Harry
in
Potter in the Triwizard Tournament. It's Harry Potter in the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the SKREWTS have more airtime than Miss Goblet herself.
Right.
This week, we read chapter 21 called The House Elf Liberation Front. Adam, what happens in this chapter?
Listeners, just gird your loins. If you hate the episodes where we talk about social justice, you're just going to want to skip over this one.
Yeah, just go to next week's. Oh my God.
This week.
So many thoughts. Yeah, what happens?
In this week's chapter, Hermione, Ron, and Harry go to the kitchens and discover that Winky and Dobby work at Hogwarts.
Correct. Also, Friedrich
don't be worried. There's a whole scene with Blast-Ended SKREWTS. So, if you're here for the Blast-Ended SKREWTS, we've got you covered. We're going to talk about those too, but unfortunately, they're, like I've said, not a part of the plot.
Look how cute Friedrich is behind you. He's just sitting on the edge of the couch.
Yeah, he's waiting for RJ to come home.
Oh, he knows it's like about that time. Oh, little BB.
So
Khaleesi is out.
Yeah, Khaleesi said goodnight.
She was like, Blast-ended Screwts. Oh.
It's 6:54. I'm going to bed. Thank you. So the chapter starts off, and as we all remember from last chapter, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are back to being the Golden Trio. Ron is back to being not a dick. Harry's not being a dick about Ron not being a dick. It's great. Nobody's a dick.
No one's a dick. No dicks are happening.
So they run up to the Owlery to let Sirius know via Pig that Harry has won the first. Not did he? No, he tied. He tied for the first challenge, but he's made it
tied
through.
With Crumb. Still don't like. Crumb. I don't agree.
Yeah,
Team
we were
Fleur.
not allowed to be judges.
Team Fleur.
Team Fleur for sure. For sure.
Doesn't make
Fleur
any sense.
So dirty in this book. I literally, you know what?
We're gonna get into it. There's so much more. We haven't even scratched the surface.
I think it's the second challenge that really bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that really bugs me.
Oh yeah.
So Harry has sent Sirius a letter via Pig, just letting him know, hey, I'm alive. I didn't die. I think if Harry had died, it probably would have gotten to Sirius before that because it would have been splashed all over the front of the Daily Prophet. But
right,
the boy who lives yet again. And
shocker.
So then they're like, well, we have to catch you up on all the things that you missed while you were absolutely not speaking to me. And so they're like, so Sirius and I, do you remember that time that you walked down from the boys' room and you interrupted my conversation with Sirius?
Yeah,
asshole.
I'd love to know how those combos went. Like, yeah, remember that one time you interrupted my conversation with Sirius? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no, it was fine. Don't even worry about it. Like, are they?
No, we're good. We're past it.
It's fine. Let's just not talk about it, okay?
But you did interrupt it. So anyway, they let him know the new information that Sirius gave them, which is that Karkaroff was a Death Eater. And Ron is like, of course he was. I knew it. I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah.
Malfoy said that his father knows Karkaroff. I bet they were both wearing their Ku Klux Klan hoods at the fucking. They were wearing them at the
rallies.
Yeah, and the what was the
World Cup?
The World Cup. The World Cup. I was like the Golden Goose. What was it called?
Golden Goose Quidditch tournament.
Yes, go off. And so he's like, well, I'm not shocked by this news. So, but Hermione's not as convinced for some reason. She like writes it where she's like, Ron is very like, yeah, Karkaroff's bad. And Hermione's like, well, we don't know all the details. And I was like, wait, for what? Okay.
Also, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that with Hermione. I mean,
well, Hermione's famously a centrist, always reaching across the aisle.
I guess maybe with Snape, is she the person that tends to say like, well, Dumbledore trusts Snape, so that's enough for me. Is she?
That's Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid is Team Dumbledore through and through, but
for sure.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know if she would be the one to be like, well, like
I think she just does this anytime that Harry goes to his friends for advice. Ron will be one side and Hermione either, if she's not the other side, she'll at least not have the exact same ferocity of opinion as Ron, so that she can like juxtapose the two sides that Harry can like weigh against.
And Hermione tends to be right the most. So maybe it's that a little bit too, that it's like, oh, well,
I will
Hermione...
say in this moment, in the whole conversation, it's all because now they think Karkaroff put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
And I will say, if Hermione doesn't believe it, it's because she's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But then they go down to the Gryffindor common room, and Fred and George have gotten a full feast in honor of
Yeah.
Harry. There's cakes and puddings and teas and crumpets and everything.
I'm so
And
hungry.
Dean Thomas has drawn new banners celebrating Harry and also depicting Cedric's head on fire, which I was like, all right.
Okay, yeah.
It's not wrong, but at least you kept it to the common room. You kept it to the common room. It's private. Okay. Harry makes a note that the next task is in 3 months. So if November was this task.
Yeah.
Okay. November. 3 months from now would be
January.
February.
No, but end of January. Doesn't it happen end of January?
Either way, either end of January, beginning of February.
The actual first task didn't actually happen on Halloween, did it?
No, it happened like November
1st.
or something like that.
What? Wait,
yeah,
it did?
Halloween was when the names were picked.
Oh, okay, you're right. Yeah, I'm misremembering. Okay, yeah. So then it was like it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving festivities this year was watching people almost be eaten by dragons.
So
right. So in 3 months, which is in February, they are going to, spoiler alert, dive into the Black Lake in February in Scotland. I just want to be clear. This doesn't make sense. So when you watch the movie, you're like, they should actually be dying. They should actually be passing away. The moment they hit that water, they should be going into like shock and their body just like seizes.
I don't think I've ever thought about how like spread out the tasks are either. Like 3 months? Once again, the Beauxbaton students and the Durmstrang students could go home. Come back.
They don't need to be here.
What?
They don't.
They're just sitting on the lake, sitting in their carriage.
Here's the thing. Everybody's traveling by magic. B, wouldn't you rather go home, train, whatever you're doing, do what you need to do, fine, figure it out, and then come and bring your whole school, not just like a select group of 12 from Beauxbaton? Wouldn't you rather have like 300 students from Beauxbaton, so you have like equal, it feels like it's more equal as opposed to like Hogwarts having the most.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. So next action.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that they're that spread out to me. I'm like,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, because then the last one is like on finals day.
So like May?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months again, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild that they're asking these kids to jump. Okay, well, Harry and the other adults. They're asking three adult students and Harry Potter to jump into a lake.
Anybody.
In February.
I don't care how old you are. What are we doing? This isn't like run into Lake Michigan in the winter for like cancer awareness and we're raising money. Like this is just for what?
They do this in the UK though. The like Arctic plunge or whatever it's called. They do it like every year. But they just run in and then they get out.
That's why Britain lost their empire. They're out of their minds.
Oh my gosh.
So they're in the common room and I think it's Seamus. I could be wrong, but I think it's Seamus who's like, we should open the egg.
Why don't you open it, Harry?
The egg. Open the egg. And so Harry's like, okay, here we go. And it's like just like the movie where he like opens it and then like immediately it's like and like then they immediately close and they're like, well, that
was Friedrich's
impression. It sounded just like that. That's what the egg sounded like.
Friedrich.
I edit it, so I like open it and it's Friedrich's sound of Friedrich.
Please do. It sounded perfect. Perfect impression, Friedrich. Great job.
Yeah. So they close it, and there are some people who give responses, and Seamus is like, "Oh, it sounded like a banshee. You're gonna have to fight a banshee. That's definitely what it is. No note."
Banshee.
And then, did you peep this?
Yeah.
Neville was like,
Yeah.
Neville looks stricken, and he's like, "Oh, it's the sound of people being tortured. They're gonna give you the Cruciatus curse." Now, in the moment, we don't know much about Neville. Okay, this is 2002. Where like the books just come out, we don't know anything.
We don't know Neville's backstory.
Neville's a clown. Neville's a jester. Haha, folly, Neville. No, this is really depressing.
Yeah.
This is sad.
I was sad.
It wasn't great.
Because he was like horrified.
Terrified. Neville. Yeah.
Also,
I don't understand how people don't know this about Neville. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it should be more common knowledge. Like his parents were heroes.
And so I feel like that meant not too many people get like tortured to the point that they have to like be institutionalized. I feel like that doesn't happen that often. That would be like, oh, it just slipped my mind that was you, Neville. You know
Do you think that's why like it's...
Or maybe because the Daily Prophet covers up so much and covered up so much?
Because they ended up in a mental hospital, that was why it's like not common knowledge, because in the wizarding community that's like
they don't respect
embarrassing or
anything mental.
Yeah, I guess like it's like more embarrassing than like, you know, something that's like, wow, these people were so brave.
I mean, I definitely think that like the Longbottoms probably don't talk about it. But I feel like more people.
But his grandma does. She's like, oh, my son and his wife were heroes, and like she's the one that just like says what happened. Mm-hmm. So I mean, maybe I understand why maybe Neville wouldn't be able to talk about it, obviously, because they're his parents. But
right,
yeah, that made me really sad, and I was like, oh, Neville. But yeah, that is a good point. Like, how does no one really know about it? Because everyone knows about Harry. Was that because his parents actually died?
And I think because he killed Lord Voldemort. Killed in quotes.
Right, yeah.
It's still really upsetting.
I know. It also is weird to me that like they were like, no, Neville, that's illegal. And I was like, so is the Imperious Curse, but Moody's doing it every week. Multiple times a day. On multiple days. So the Imperious Curse is like illegal, but like whatever. But the other two, I don't understand. I was like, no, what is this? He's practicing this curse.
Imperious is white collar crime. That's wage garnishment.
Oh my God.
Cruciatus and Avada Kedavra. Yeah. That's
magical cooperation.
Crime. Yeah, that's torture and yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
So anyway, just like, a little feather in your cap for those of you who never read the series. You'll want to come back to the fact that Neville knows what torture sounds like later. And anyway, Hermione's like eating this food, and she's a little nervous because the twins have probably tampered with it, because that's the point they're at in their careers. They're just like,
that's their thing.
Yeah.
What?
Right. Just saying, watch your drinks, ladies, at the bar. Watch your drinks. So then she like has the moment of realization where she's like, oh, you like went to the kitchens to get this. And she does the like, how would like one even get into the kitchens if one was going to try to do that?
This was from the kitchens.
Oh, that's where they make the food? They make the food in the kitchens? Oh,
so how do you
where would that even be? Like this castle's so big. Like where I'm trying to like picture where that big of a space would be. You know what I mean? Like, because it would have to be near the Great Hall. Yes, the Great Hall. Okay. She's doing that. But way more deftly than what we were doing. And so they like reveal, I don't remember. It was one of the twins. Doesn't matter. They're the same. they reveal that the kitchen hidden door is behind a still life painting of a fruit, of like a bowl of fruits. And sorry, not like a fruit like me, like a still life of me, but like a bowl
Like a
of
fruit
me.
you eat
Yeah.
and you tickle the pear.
Yes. And then he was like, wait, you're not going to go try and free the house elves. You're not going to go do that, Hermione. And she was like, my lips are sealed. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows what I'm going to do? The world is my oyster.
Yeah, how dare she lead these poor elves out on strike? Wow. What a terrible idea. Every time we talk about the house elves, it's just like, well, don't disrupt the natural order of things. What are you doing, you silly woman? You silly muggle-born.
I also want to point out, just let's remove America from the equation. Let's put on our UK hats, okay?
Yeah.
This is 1994, I think, canonically, or something like that. 1995, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the mid 80s, weren't all of the miners in the UK like on strike for like better wages because Margaret Thatcher's like administration was like absolutely ruining their lives? Isn't that most of the point of Billy Elliot?
Billy Elliot taught us.
I just think it's crazy that like everyone's so anti. I don't know. There's just a lot of layers. When you pull apart the onion,
and it's not done well.
The ogres have layers, and they're not all. It's not great. But bizarre. Everyone's distracted because Neville eats a cream puff, and then he turns into a canary, and then he molts really quickly and turns back into Neville. And I just want to say, congratulations to the twins for how. That's crazy.
What was this? Was this a potion that they made? Was it a charm that they put on the candy? What is that? Or the little cake? What?
Because they didn't even make the cakes.
Is this legal?
They're from the kitchens.
Yeah, so they must have enchanted them? Sorry, Fred and George are like the valedictorian of Hogwarts. Like, what?
The smartest people there have to be. Hermione, move over.
Yeah, sorry, Hermione. Can you do this?
It's giving, you know what it's giving? It's giving that like stoner in high school who's like doesn't give an actual fuck, so has like D's, but is like truly the smartest person.
Yeah.
But just doesn't care.
An actual genius.
And it's like, who cares? This is dumb. It's giving that energy. Then they all go to bed, and after the celebration, Harry is so full he thinks he'll never be able to eat again. And then he like goes to bed, and he had to keep his little model of the Hungarian horntail, which I was detail. Like, I think I like that detail a lot.
It was so cute.
It was really
cute.
It
like curled up and was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I was like, I want one. You know what? He should have given that to Hagrid as a Christmas present, though, and I'll never forgive him for not giving it to Hagrid.
Wow.
Do you know how happy Hagrid would have been? Missed opportunity. Maybe Madame Maxime asked Fleur.
Well, Harry's
this is
a bad
canon
gift
in my
giver.
mind now. But I'm imagining now that Madame Maxime asked Fleur if she could give hers to Hagrid.
Oh, sure.
Later.
Yeah.
That's what that's in my head. That's what happened. So Hagrid got a little baby dragon.
So we move on to the next day. Or kind of the next week. We're kind of starting to time shift.
Moving forward.
And I'm really only going to talk about one class. I'm skipping over divination. We don't need to discuss divination other than the fact that Sybil's back on her bullshit and the boys are friends again. So it's funny instead of being depressing. So they go to, oh my God, I can't believe I have to talk about this again. So they go to care of magical creatures.
Adam needs a moment.
Which canonically is the worst class in Hogwarts. I would rather go to Defense Against the Dark Arts and have a man put an unforgivable curse on me multiple times a week than go to deal with these fucking blast endeds.
This is, I'm sorry, Dumbledore. This is negligence. Like, what are you doing?
Ugh.
I don't understand how no one has intervened at this point. Like, what is it? He tries to they try to get them to hibernate.
Yeah. So Hagrid doesn't know.
Hagrid!
It's obviously it's December now. So Hagrid's like, well,
Oh
I don't know if they want to hibernate, so we'll try and box them in to see if they do it. Do you actually think that these? First of all, I don't think bugs hibernate.
No, do either of those animals hibernate? No,
it doesn't make
at this
sense.
point it's like a scorpion or a crab hybrid, or a scorpion crab hybrid. Like neither of those hibernate, correct?
Right. They hybridate. Stupid.
Hybridate.
So it's just like a lot of the same. We're getting more of this. We're getting people have like burned fingers and their eyebrows are gone, and just like a bunch of like falderal. And there's only 10 Skrewts left. They're literally down to 10 Skrewts because they keep
20 the
killing
last
each
time?
other. Yes. This is how we end up with the one Skroot in the maze. It's because there's the one supreme Skroot. It's like beta fish when you put two beta fish in a bowl.
Yeah,
one eats the other.
It's the Hunger Games for the
Hunger Games.
blast-ended Skrewts, and that's the one that survived.
Yeah, Katniss Everdeen is the last one that's in the maze. So, oh my God, I can't believe I have to talk about it. So then Rita Skeeter pops out of nowhere, and she's like,
"Oh my God,
hey,
how's it going over there?"
Yeah, I do read her with like a New York accent, even though she's definitely Cockney. For sure, she's Cockney.
She has to be, or Liverpudlian, even.
Right.
Even better.
So Rita Skeeter comes in. She's like, "Oh, I've never seen these creatures before. What are they?" And Hagrid's like, "Oh, they're called blast-ended Skrewts." And she was like, "Strange. I'm not familiar with those. Where'd you get them?" And then he just kind of like blushes and doesn't say anything. And this is your sign that Hagrid did not acquire them by legal means.
Oh God, Hagrid.
This is like now a running theme. This is like,
oh no.
In book 1, we have two instances.
The
Dragon and Fluffy. He does not acquire by legal means.
Yeah. Dragon and Fluffy.
Book 2, we have Aragog.
Which technically was the first one.
Right.
Yeah. Aragog was the OG.
Book 3, shockingly, everything is legal, but it's put... book 3 is the one where everything happens legally, but then there's like legal repercussions because it did something that it wasn't anybody's fault except Malfoy.
Because Malfoy was a dumbass.
Right. Flobberworms, though, legal. So.
Why is it either, Adam? Why is it either flobberworms or blast-ended Skrewts? There is no in between. There's so many magical beasts. Come on, Hagrid. Are you
There's
kidding
a whole
me?
book. There's a whole book by Newt Scamander.
I'm sorry. Yeah, get Newt Scamander in here. What's going on?
Get
Eddie Redmayne.
Literally anybody else in there. I don't care. I do not care who teaches this class.
Unfortunately, Professor Grubbly Plank is about to hop up in here for unfortunate reasons, but it's great when she comes along.
Yes, Grubbly Plank is about to show up. I'm going to say Grubbly Plank gives me huge lesbian energy.
Oh, her and Sprout. They have to be partners.
Definitely have at least hooked up in the past.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how she knew.
Mm-hmm. That's how she knew
Parmesan
about the opening.
was like, hey. the shit
I
went
know
down,
you need a
and
job.
they need someone. So I feel like she is like, you know what? Okay, well, I'll wait till we get to. I don't know Professor Grubbly Plank's
We'll wait
first
to
name,
get to
but
Grubbly Plank.
yeah, because I have some really vivid thoughts of like what she is up to when she's not at Hogwarts. Because she just like hops over there whenever they need her, and she's like, "Cool, okay, like see you later." When Hagrid comes back, she's like, "All right, peace."
Yeah. So Rita makes a plan with Hagrid to meet at the Three Broomsticks later that week to, have just like a little interview, because obviously Daily Prophet does a zoological section every Wednesday. We'd love to feature the Blast-Ended Screw.
Also, Harry, you should have tried harder to be like,
what is
Hagrid, don't. He didn't even try.
He didn't say anything. He did the very British, like, oh, I'll just give a glance and a look and maybe a little...
But not at Hagrid.
An eyebrow raise. Yeah.
None of them said anything.
Literally just be like, I think that's a bad idea, Hagrid.
This is where the Americanness in me comes out, and I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea, because you know what, Rita? I did an article with you, and I didn't really like what you said, because I didn't say any of that. Like, I would just be like, so Hagrid, no, don't do that.
Speaking as Hagrid's manager.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I represent Hagrid. Rubius doesn't have time for this. He has a very busy schedule.
Very busy.
No.
So busy.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
So, let's jump to after classes. Hermione is not to be found. We don't know where Hermione is. They go to see if she's in the library, as she is wont to do. But they see Crumb in the library, and Ron's like, okay, but like, should I like go get his out? I mean, like, he's here. Should I go get his autograph? He's such a good flyer. He's like the best flyer.
This is a good time. This is my moment.
And then, like, right behind them from another bookcase, they hear girls being like, should I go get Victor Crumb's autograph? And then Ron's like, we can go.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
We can go. It's fine. We can go. I don't need to. It's weird. We can go.
It's okay. It's okay.
So it's fine. I thought that was very funny. So they go into they go back to the common room. They were like, I don't know, Hermione's gone. Who's to know?
I love that they're not worried. It's like, well, we don't know.
If only we had a fucking magical map.
Thank you. I was like, that's weird that, the Marauders map is a thing.
Has not come out in this book at all.
They're just not worried. No, they're just not worried about her at all. I would be like, that's kind of weird. I haven't seen her for a while. And we now know that Karkaroff is like a Death Eater running around. Let's look.
Delusional.
I just don't care. Hermione. They don't care about you enough.
And we know that the Marauders map... we don't know this right now, but the Marauders map will come back in this book.
It's coming,
so right. It's not like it's not there anymore. It's not like he lost it.
Although he might have, because he is very careless with his very important possessions.
With his prized possessions. So they go to the common room and they go, and I got mad at this and I don't know why. They literally they go up to the fat lady and they say Balderdash. And I was like, how is this password still Balderdash? It's been Balderdash since the beginning of this book. The password has not changed.
We never get any clarification on like why they change or when, like it's just whenever she wants.
Having the same password for an entire semester seems really crazy. Right? The year after this woman was like almost like like slashed to death.
I don't know. I just don't understand the password system, because it's just like, well, does she just decide what the password is one day?
Just
and like,
install
what
a Nest door cam? Like, what are we doing? Like, honestly, where's ADT? What are we doing?
Give me ADT. Give me the Wise cam.
So dumb. So I was annoyed by that. But Hermione comes up. They've just walked in the common room, and Hermione's like, wait, no, you have to come with me. I have to show you something. Oh my God, you have to come with me. I have to show you something. And they're like, okay. And then they like leave and they run back down the hall. And the fat lady's like portrait is swung open. And she was like, okay, well, I'll just sit here then. Which then I was like, does she open or do they open?
Yeah, she doesn't have control over her portrait closing.
Because
was it
doesn't
like
it
she
say,
was just pissed?
it's so whenever the thing says it's always the portrait swung open.
Swung open.
It's not like like Harry opened the portrait.
Yeah.
The portrait swung open, but it can't close? How would you close a portrait that covers a hole?
I think we have to believe that she's just mad that they like made her open for no reason.
Sure, she's just salty.
Like she's just like, oh, well, fine. I guess I'll have to close myself.
Yeah, and I'd be like, yes, as you usually do.
You always do.
You sure do. Also, you're a painting.
Sorry, girl.
So anyway.
There are other things happening.
So they're running around the castle. Hermione's leading them. They have no idea where they're going. They end up, they kind of go down this weird way where they're like, oh, we're going to go to the dungeons, but then it's like not dark and damp like the Slytherin area is. Like it's like bright and like
where the Hufflepuff common room is. We find out later.
Where the Hufflepuff common room is.
Yeah.
And
also, this is exactly what I would do to you if like, if you knew Dobby and I was like, and I found him, I would not tell you anything, but I would just be like, come on. No, we have to go. Come on. And you would be like, what? And I'd be like, I can't. Just come on. Like,
this is the thing. Yes.
Hermione in the scene.
Yes.
She's just like, no, come on. It's so great. I can't tell you, but oh my God, it's just so wonderful. And you have to come. And then it's just finally you're like about to enter. And she's like, they're like, Hermione, hold on. And she's like, what? You're like right about to go in.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved it. I loved
her hands
this
like
whole
on
moment.
the painting, tickling the pear, and she's like, "What?
Just come on, yeah. What? Let's go."
So they have to tickle the pear. The pear turns into a door handle. I love this imagery. I think it's so funny.
Yeah,
tickling a pear. I don't know why of all the fruits, the pear is the one that's funniest to me.
Yeah,
probably because it kind of looks like a little stomach.
Pear shape. Yeah. So cute.
So they walk into the kitchens and Harry is immediately bowled over by Dobby, we find out, because Dobby works at Hogwarts.
It's so cute.
And then they like look further into the room and they see a shit ton of house elves who all wear tea towels with the Hogwarts logo on them. And also sitting on a stool crying is Winky.
Hold on, wait. Can we not get to Winky yet? I want to say something.
Yeah.
Do you know what she could have done? She could have
not written this book series.
Not had house elves. Okay. She could have had Hogwarts be the haven for house elves that had been let go or fired, have been freed, whatever it was. She could have had Hogwarts be like the safe haven for all the elves that had been like freed, discarded, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been way more interesting and then would have like tied into this situation with Hermione much better, because she could have been like, oh, I thought this terrible thing was happening at Hogwarts, but actually Dumbledore is paying the house elves here. And they there could be all these cool different house elf characters that all have different stories, and they're all buddies with Dobby, and they're all cute and kooky and wacky, whatever. And they're all there together working at Hogwarts, getting paid. And then Winky is there, and Winky is sad because obviously she was like,
she's just let go,
dishonorably discharged. But hello, what the hell? How am I thinking of this? I am not. I mean, I'm a writer, but like a screenwriter. Like I write scripts. I don't write like full on like 500-page novels. Yeah. Yes. Right. And how am I like, obviously this is a much more interesting choice. Do you know how great that would have been? And like I would have been like, okay, now I understand more why this whole mess of the house elf thing was like brought back into the picture. But that's not the case at all. It's terrible. This whole thing, I was like, okay, well, now I'm even more uncomfortable. Like, it's always uncomfortable when she talks about the house elves, but the fact that it's like Dobby is the one that is like correct, and all the house elves are like embarrassed by him, and oh my god. My head hurts. Like, I'm just so tired of it. I just don't want to do the house elf stuff anymore.
I know.
Oh, there was such an opportunity with this.
And we're going to go back to the kitchens. This is not the only chapter in this book in which we go to the kitchens, because then we have to get into alcoholism with house elves. I truly cannot with this book. Okay.
There was such an opportunity here, and she missed it.
No, a swing and a miss. I don't even know if there was a swing. She just let it go by.
It's just so obvious that, like, a place like Hogwarts could be, especially because Albus is the headmaster, like, it would be the perfect place to have something like that set up, where it's like, well, the general wizarding, community is still like backwards and doesn't understand that like house elves deserve to be paid. But like, how cool would that have been if Hogwarts was the place where they had gotten it right? Come on.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there. That's what we should have gotten. Someone write the fanfic. I will read it.
Please.
Send it to me.
Wattpad.
Wattpad. Wattpad.
Dobby, I was using, this is very funny that I'm looking at my notes. I was using voice to text while I was like making my notes. So all of my things that say Dobby are either Debbie or Derby.
Yeah, that used to happen to me sometimes with some of the names.
So Dobby hasn't been able to find work since he was let go, freed in at the end of book 2. It's been 2 years. He hasn't been able to find work because he wants to be paid for his work. And he's made that very clear to all of his potential future employers. And they were like, what's the point of having an elf if I have to pay you? Now, when we find out how much Dobby gets, it's like you could have you could have been like,
another thing.
I'll give you 5 knuts, and he would have been like,
yes,
thank you.
Also, I'm sorry, 2 years. What was he doing? 2 years,
dude. How
was he survive? Adam
die naturally? We don't know enough about house elves. We just don't.
What? Where was he? Did he?
We already went on the globe. We already went on a full. Went on a full Vila kick. We can't. We'll never know.
But what did he do? He just joined Fagin and his gang as the Artful Dodger, and like, what happened? I'm just 100%. So confused.
Yeah.
I don't. 2 years?
Maybe he did volunteer work. I don't know. I'm so
confused. This poor elf. What was he doing? This is what I'm saying. It would have been way more. He didn't need to be on the. Well, I guess the whole idea is that's why he hasn't visited Harry, because he just came here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I almost feel like I would believe it if he was like, I've been here for years, but I've never, I didn't know if I should call upon Harry Potter, sir. Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe he just should have been there the whole time. I don't know if that really would have bothered me. Like, if he was like, I've been hoping to run into you for the past couple years, but, it just hasn't happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just still so I'm sorry. I'm still just so upset that she did not make this like the freed house elf haven.
It really makes you think
literally the obvious choice.
If Hogwarts has a bunch of house elves, do you think like every private institution has house elves? Like, do you think like the ministry has house elves? Do you think like Azkaban has house elves who are like janitors? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I just want to say no, because I just don't like that idea. It just makes me sad.
The only thing I can think with if it was Azkaban, hopefully like they just can't. The Dementors don't affect them because like their magic's like different. So maybe it's just like, oh, hey girl, like
Yeah,
they
I
just
don't want
chit
any of
chat
those
with the
house elves around
Dementors.
yeah, I don't want them around the Dementors at all. Ugh, this is just, I don't like it. I don't like it.
So he ran into Winky, paid a visit to his friend Winky. So now we know they're friends. And he found out that she had also been let go. Very
How?
convenient.
How are they friends?
Well, you know, all house elves
How?
know each other. And so then he was like, well, we're both unemployed and we'd be great as a pair. Let's go to Hogwarts and get hired by Hogwarts together. So they go to Hogwarts and Dumbledore hires them and he takes Dobby up on being paid. And then this is what we find out about his pay rate. Dobby is paid 1 galleon a week. And he gets 1 day off a month. Okay. So first when I read that, I was like, good. We're supposed to like be impressed. And then you find out that Dumbledore originally wanted to pay him 10 galleons a week and give him weekends off. But Dobby was like, no, I talked him down because that's too wild.
So that'd be like 2 galleons a day if it's just the weekday, basically. So he would have been getting 2 galleons a day. Is a galleon the equivalent of a pound? Is that what we're supposed to believe? We've never really clarified this. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
So he's getting 2 pounds a day. We'll go with this idea.
Sure.
I don't think that like food for house elves is like cheaper. Maybe they eat less because they're small, but like they're still going to have to go to the wizard market to buy food, correct?
Unless
maybe they get fed
Hogwarts,
for free. Yeah,
he's definitely living there. So
right.
and they're probably it's like how at Downton they'll like make a staff kitchen. They'll like have a staff meal as well.
Okay, so see that's the thing with like Hogwarts. I'm a little more okay with it in the sense of like, well, the fact that Dobby's being paid, not that the other house elves aren't. But the fact that he is being paid and he lives there, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is right. But then all of the other house elves are living there and working for free and always working. Like they don't have a day off or anything like that. So I'm just like, no, it still isn't okay. Sorry, it's still problematic, Dumbledore.
It's weird. It's just weird. There's too many details now. Now there's too many details. And I want fewer details.
Exactly.
So we have this conversation where Dobby is like, things are going great. I'm honestly living my absolute best life. Look at me. I'm wearing a tea towel. I'm not wearing a tea towel. I'm wearing a tea cozy. I'm wearing a sweater vest. I have pantaloons on. Like he's got a whole ensemble on.
Yeah. I love it.
And then he's like, Winky is like still distraught. She's like sobbing in a corner. She can't talk about it. It's not going well. Winky's not handling it well, as she's right to do. And he's like, Winky has just forgotten, and she doesn't realize it yet, that she is allowed to speak bad about her former master.
I loved
because, you know, she doesn't work. She doesn't work for him anymore. And then and then Harry like prompts him to be like, what would you say about the Malfoys? And he was like, I would say they're wizards. And then he decides to hit his head on the bookshelf. And I was like, ay.
But before this, he says that Dumbledore gave him permission. Dang it. Yes. I should have marked the page. I didn't. So it's going to take me a second to find
call him a crazy old codger or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was what it was. Oh my God. Wait, dang it. I'm so mad. I was like, this was my favorite part of the whole chapter. Dang it. Oh, yeah. He said we is free to call him a barmy old codger if we like, sir. Dobby gave a frightened sort of giggle.
Yeah.
I just love the image of that. A barmy old codger.
Yeah.
That was such like a vivid thing in my mind when he said that. I was like, of course, because you can hear Dumbledore saying it so vividly, and then you can see Dobby like repeating it and like giggling so vividly. And I was like, and then he talks about how much he loves Dumbledore right after that too. So I was like, I loved that moment. It was so precious. I loved it.
So so then he calls Malfoy's Dark Wizards and then immediately like bangs his head on a wall.
Yeah, no thank you.
Glad we brought that back for fun.
Stop!
Who thought that was funny in book 2? Nobody.
You ruined it. You should have ended with the Barmy old codger bit. You ruined it.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah. Ugh. Don't like it.
And then like they talk to Winky, and Winky through sobs is like, I miss Mr. Crouch. I can't believe he exists without me. He doesn't know what he has to do. And they were like, Hermione's like, girl, he's fine. I saw him last week. He is fine.
That is so the energy. Yeah, she literally is like, girl, well, he is good.
Yeah, so you need to get over. You need to move on, Winky. You need to get over him. And she was like, "What do you mean you've seen him?" And she was like, "Yeah, he's here. He comes."
You've seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. He's right here, actually.
Barty, Bartemius,
Bartemius. Hello.
So, yeah. I have questions now that we know who Moody is. We don't know who Moody is technically yet, but I have questions about Winky and Moody being in the same building.
I don't think she knows, though. She doesn't know.
No, I don't think she knows either, but I also... It's a little... I don't know. It's a big castle. It's a big castle. We'll say that. It's a big castle. So, then she was like... They're like, oh yeah, Barty Crouch, he's here all the time. They're doing the Triwizard Tournament. He's here with Ludo Bagman. And she's like, Ludo Bagman?
Ludicrous
Bagman? No, not for me, sir. And then
it's a no from me.
It's a no from me. And she was like, Crouch definitely thinks Bagman's like a bad wizard. Just so you guys know, like he's like, ooh, I don't know. It's not for me to say because I'm gonna keep my secrets, but just know that. They're like, okay, cool. And then they're like, well, we'll go. We're done. The meeting's adjourned. And so all the house elves give them like tea and cakes and are like, come back, so we can give you more food. And which is very like
very Midwestern mom.
Very Midwestern mom energy. Like, here's a Tupperware of the last 5 meals I've had.
Yes. And
they're leaving, and Hermione's like, well, I think Dobby being here is a great influence on the house elf community because that's really going to prove that, it's better on the other side. It's good to be free. And they're like, yeah, just don't look at Winky. They don't look at Winky too hard.
God.
And that's kind of like it. That's where the chapter ends. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
They go back to the
Ron. It ends with a Ron one-liner.
It ends with a Ron one-liner. I didn't write it down though, and my book's back there. I don't want to get up.
It's not worth about Percy. No, it was like Percy wouldn't know a joke if it walked in wearing Dobby's tea cozy. It wasn't her best.
No,
not her best one-liner. I was like, I could have done without that.
Yeah.
Someone should have said Barmy old codger again.
There were 2 Percy jokes. Because the other one in this chapter, earlier in this chapter, when they opened the egg, the joke sounds like Percy when he sings in the shower. Maybe you have to.
Oh, yes.
Something about Percy singing in the shower.
Yeah, that's right.
Fine. He's not even at the school anymore.
Leave Percy alone.
Get a new nerd to talk about.
Yeah, come on now.
That's it. We're done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry you had to live through more Screwts.
Jesus.
Well, that wraps up this chapter. Next week, we will be reading chapter 22 called The Unexpected Task. Very unexpected. Is that right? 22?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was the Yule Ball was next?
No, the unexpected task is asking someone to the Yule Ball.
Ah, yes. That's
Mhm.
why. We do not have a review this week. I hope that changes next week.
Yeah. And you'll have plenty of time because we're not going to record next week.
Yes,
So by the time we record
have
again,
a
you'll
week
have
off.
plenty of time to get a little review in.
Plenty of time. Or you're a barmy old codger. And I said that.
Say that.
Say that. I said it. That's right. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel. As always, don't forget to rate, review. Huh?
And you can get them on the Spotify app too. I need to change that. Video versions.
Oh, video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify now.
Yes.
As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we get a perfect Newt score. 5 stars only, or else you'll be turned into a canary.
Just like Neville.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at HPAnxious.
Our local ornithologist in the room.
Instagram at HPAnxious and YouTube at the Ampliverse. I just realized I haven't checked the Instagram in a while.
The Twitter.
We are hosted on Anchor and recorded on Zencaster, so thank you to both of them, and are a proud member of the Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you, Adam.
My pleasure, Arri.
And as always, you're a barmy old codger.